Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro Tour Europe Weekly. I'm Nathanias, and we are jumping into game number 3 of Showtime in the bottom left, facing off against Denver. Just for everybody wondering, apparently, like I said, I have been out of the loop. I haven't been on. I haven't been able to get on. I haven't entered internet. So the rules have changed. Instead of holding the semifinals one after another, since they did switch them to best of 5s, they do run simultaneously. So we were commentating the other match with Hero Marine. This match was being played at the same time. So basically, Hero Marine won his match 3-0 in the time that it took Showtime and Denver to play 2 games. So we're jumping into game 3, and then as soon as this map is over, we will be going to the winner of this series versus Hero Marine in the finals for the Big Gabe Weekly, because that's pretty much what this is right now, huh? So Showtime, chilling. He's got that block on the bottom, his PvZ. And, you know, honestly, I'm kind of surprised to tune in and see that this is what the score is for game 3, right? I mean, Showtime is very good. I love him. I love Showtime. He played very well in the series that we got to cast earlier. But I also thought that Denver was playing really well. Am I crazy? Like, I thought, I don't know. I have a lot of faith in Denver. I think it's still very possible that he can at least take a map back here or something. But man, maybe Showtime is just, maybe he has truly become Demour now. Unstoppable. Monstrosity. I don't know. That's not really a way you describe Protoss, right? Protoss is kind of like cold and cruel and calculating. Zerg are a little bit more like monsters. I mean, did you know that I guess, I wonder if that changes the lore. I was about to talk about how infestors would eat dead Marines to make infested Terrans. But I guess since those don't exist anymore, I don't know. I don't think we ever got a lore explanation for why there are no infested Terrans. I guess we should bring them back, huh? If there's no story-based reason for a change, why change anything? Am I right? So the Adept is going to be the first unit of choice. There's the Stargate. You know, classic Showtime. When I think about Showtime, I think about Stargate play versus Zerg. I think about really strong standard play. Although, I haven't been able to see too much PvZ. I mean, GSL stuff has been a lot of Terrans. And if Protoss, it was Terran versus Protoss, right? We were talking about the changes in the meta for PvT. As Parting, I think, really left some shockwaves. I was at least able to see his games before I ran out of phone data. So what exactly he's going to do, I'm not going to try and make any grandiose predictions. But I am excited for this match, and especially to see if either of these two gentlemen can actually take down Hero Marine, who is also looking extremely sharp in the aforementioned best of 5. So, with that being said, Denver is going in with that scout. So Phoenix, follow-up would be an Oracle. He can see that it's an Oracle being built. That's very important. Unless he plays on low graphics, in which case I ask, why, God? Why? I don't know why anybody would play on low graphics if you ever have to play versus Protoss. The fact that you can see what they're building is like, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like free map hacks, am I right? Imagine looking at a Stargate and not knowing what's building out of it. Just medium graphics things. So Denver's going to spend a couple things out, try to take the map. It's been a really good day of games. We've had a lot of action-packed StarCraft. It's been a pleasure to be out here bringing it for you. And there is going to be one more series after this. I think, did they change the finals for these to best of 7s then? I know that part of the change was they moved it to Mondays. They made them start later, but they also increased the prize pool, and they increased how many maps are played, at least the semis. I can't remember if they changed how the finals themselves work outside of prize pool, but Showtime clearing out overlords on the map. Very standard Protoss things to do. Eternal Empire is a very good macro map. It's hard to attack. It's easy to defend. Both sides, really, for both players and both races. A couple of Adepts are going to try and shark into this third, though. He wants some drones. I like that he reaches for the furthest away drones first. He gets 3 drone kills, which is actually really nice. This Adept will see the Roach Warren. That's big. Drones are transferring. He gets another drone, actually, on his way out, which is pretty incredible. So 2 Adepts get 5 drones. He scouts the lair. I don't think he knows that the lair is about to finish, though. Like, the lair is about to finish. He's starting a Baneling Nest as well. So 3 Oracles, though, with 1 Phoenix to support. This is a lot. Unfortunately, the 1 Overlord left. We'll see it. So how much exactly is he going to be able to do? Is he going to lift the Queen and focus down drones, or is he going to try and kill the Spore? Let's find out. All right, he's going to try and just focus down drones with the Queen lifted up. Does not want to lose an Oracle, though. And so far, so good. One of the Oracles is going to escape with... how much health is that? It's not showing me. There we go, 7. Builds like this are going to get a lot easier in a week. I think, right? Is a balance patch supposed to come with the new season? I think. When does the new season even start? I thought it was supposed to start a week ago. I guess they delayed it, but I thought it would be today, or maybe it's tomorrow. It must be tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Tomorrow seems like a good day for a patch. Like I said, I've been out of the loop. I've been out of the loop with the move. So you're going to get a couple more drone kills. Wow. Really impressive that he's not losing the Oracles. I mean, they're very low on health now. The Oracle's maximum health now is like 60, which doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't die, I suppose. You could even clear the creep with the Oracles here if you wanted to. I love that. I love that. And he only uses 1 too. Get the rest. Get the rest, man. Go to town. Go to town. Move the weak Oracle back, though. Send him home. So nice little start there for Showtime. As he's got his 3rd base saturated. He's getting charged +1. He's adding 6 warp gates. Everything's looking pretty good for him, in my opinion. He's got 2 Immortals as a backbone. Charge +1. Now, Denver's got Hydralisk range almost done. He will then need, of course, to get the speed upgrade if he wants to actually step outside of his base. But these Oracles have been doing a really good job of kind of pinning him back. And honestly, the Spore being on the south side of this hatch means that the Oracles could actually get... If these Hydras were out of position, if these units weren't there, the Oracles could hit the north side of this mineral line very easily without being able to be attacked on the other side. So here's the Overseer going for some scouting, trying to see what's what. I wonder if Showtime wants to attack with this Prism, or if he just wants to harass. Like, is he going to take a couple of Adepts or a couple Zealots and head for the main or the natural? Or is this going to be a full-blown assault? And it looks like we're leaning towards the latter. 6 drones killed by the Oracles. Again, he does lose 2 of them, though. I would have loved to see him be able to get a Revelation and try to tag these Hydras so that he can better situate himself for this push. But you know what? There are no Banelings. There's not a single Baneling on the map. And I'm a little bit concerned as to how he's going to pull this off. Oh, beautiful force fields, pinning back quite a few of the Hydralisks and also creating space for his Warp Prism, making it harder to dive in. And without the Banelings, I mean, you could throw a lot of Hydras here. Oh, he gets 2 of the sentries, though, with the few Banes that he is able to pick up. Kind of opens up that 1 force field with the Archon. He hasn't killed the base just yet. Without Banelings, I mean, you really can flood Zealots onto these Hydras. They're very cost-effective against them. The Hydras are not cheap units to lose, but it looks like Showtime is maybe taking a couple too many hits. This next Zealot Warp in is coming strong, but is it going to be enough to save the Prism? No. He might lose the Immortals here, too. Denver with a very by the skin of his teeth defense of this attack. He lost a good amount of drones, lost a lot of units, but he picks off everything tech-wise that Showtime had to work with. And more importantly, he still has this 4th base too. So it's going to be a lot easier for him to kind of resituate, since Showtime did not take that 4th base, but he's got Storm. More Immortals are coming. That Overseer is 200 energy, but this isn't the old patch, is it, Nathan? That would only do 100 damage to this Overseer. Feels bad, man. What am I saying? I don't want my medevacs to die in 1 shot anymore. So the Hydras want to come up here and stop this base. There's not much of a supporting cast here for the Hydras, though. And without creep, yeah, I mean, you can't fight under storms. Never. Actually, even with creep. Even if the entire map started with creep by default, you still wouldn't want your Hydralisks to eat Psy Storms. It hurts. Well, now a feedback would kill it. But that's why he has a Phoenix, right? Why waste the energy? No, he missed. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting really emotional. This has been an exciting day of games. I'm getting really worked up. You could say I'm feeling feisty. It's just so weird. Oh, this choke point. You know, he doesn't have Banelings, but this choke point is pretty terrible to try and push through, no matter who you are. Keep the Archon alive. I mean, just charged Zealots can really chase far here. Like, just plain old Hydralisks. The thing about Hydras is they only have 90 health, and they have no armor by default. So they take the full blows. They take the full brunt of all damage that comes their way. And as fun as it is to get a ton of Hydras and roll people over, you definitely want to make sure you have those Banelings. So he's got 4 morphing here for the drop. 4 morphing here for another drop. Does he have enough to stop this push, though? That's the real question, because if these storms do what they need to do, it gonna get ugly. It gonna get real ugly. Some of these Hydras are trailing. They're trying to get stuff up. Both drops are loaded on the west and east side. And he's going to try and flank him. He's got Hydras and Banes on both sides, but already putting down a couple of preemptive storms to try and lock that space out. I do love to see that. As long as the Banes can't get to those High Templars, he's going to load a few of them up into the Prisms to try and keep those units alive. The Immortals are still standing, but the War Prism is gone. Southside Hydras are dead. The rest of them very low, but as long as he gets through these Zealots, it does not matter. He tries to recall the Morphing Archons. I think he saves one of them, which I don't know what... No, he didn't save any of them, huh? That's a big oof right there. These Zealots are on the run, but now he's got Bane drops headed for both of his bases, the natural and the 4th. As we all know, Bane Rain is very hard to deal with. +2 melee is not done. He's actually 10 seconds away. I mean, I guess it's better to hit the attack, right? I don't know. Or maybe he's just baiting. +2 attack is very close. For anybody that doesn't know, +2 attack Banelings one-shot probes, so it would have been really cool if he had the upgrade done 10 seconds earlier, or if he had waited 10 seconds before he moved in, but maybe that's why he didn't drop either of his loads. Yeah, either of his Baneling Overlords. Yeah, well, he's not really hitting a whole lot there. It's giving Showtime a good window, though. He's coming up on this 4th base. Can he defend it? His army's not too far away, but it's not a lot of meat. There's some Zealots and a lot of storms, but yeah, he tries to go for the flank. All the Banelings blow up on the Immortals, but then there's more Banelings. So yeah, no, this 4th base is dead. I mean, Denver looks like he's going to be clawing towards his first victory. I don't know how Showtime is going to stop this assault. There's way too much. We've got 23 Hydralisks, 13 Banes, and it's really just these 3 Immortals with an Archon trying to hold the fort. All the probes are dead. 40 probes die in a flash. GG. We're going to game number 4. Hot diggity dog. All right, well, we'll jump into that next lobby as soon as it's available. Exciting match so far, huh? Exciting match. Exciting series. All right, we're in the lobby for game number 4. Just waiting for the game to start. Hi, cutie. All right, guys, we are loaded in. We are loaded into the next map here. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm just trying to get everything set up. All right, so in the top right, we have our Protoss player. He is Showtime. And in the bottom left, we have the Zerg player. He is Denver. Clawing his way back. It is a best of 5, so Showtime just needs to win one more map and he will advance on to the finals of the ESL Pro Tour Weekly, which would be fantastic. And he's... I mean, it's been a good match. That's really all I want. I just want to see some good games. I want to see some close back and forth, some action, some drama, some tension. You know? I don't want them to give it to me that easily. It's boring. I need some excitement in my life. And I think y'all do too. So, last game, Denver. I mean, we really didn't see anything super crazy, right? Like, we didn't really do too much. We didn't really do anything that wild or out of the ordinary. So I am curious to see whether or not we're going to have some sort of aggressive play again. I really felt like Showtime was in a good place because, I mean, his first 2 adepts killed so much. He got so much scouting information. He got tons of worker kills with his oracles. But I think he just maybe was a little bit heavy-handed with his first assault using the charge lots and the prism. He lost a lot. He was never really able to capitalize with the storms on the Hydralisks, which I'm also just going to say big credit to Denver. Really, really good control to not allow Showtime to do that, you know? Hydralisks have 90 health. Storm does 80 damage. Do the math. Every other Protoss unit does at least 10 damage for a full volley to a Hydralisk. So, obviously, not an easy situation to handle. I don't think Showtime needs to not go for Stargate. He could do it again for sure. I wouldn't blame him. This probe just checking around. Like, the pylon block's annoying, right? Because it's hard to get the queens between the bases. That's really the big benefit of what Showtime has done. So without speedlings, you know, you're not going to be able to move queens between these bases very easily, since you also want to use your energy for injects early on. Now, it is going to be a Twilight Council opening, and Denver does see it. His Overlord, he knows. And this is really important because now the game has changed. He doesn't necessarily need to rush spores. I mean, there could be DTs, right? But he's going to probably have his mind a little bit more focused on something like an Archon drop or maybe a DT poke into Archons. But he's not going to have to worry about Oracles. He's not going to have to worry about Phoenix flying around and killing his Overlords. At least, you know, not right now. A lot of Protoss players still eventually down the line kind of go for that. But usually Stargate is either for the opening or it's for a late game transition. And I think most people generally agree there's not too much of a late game for Protoss versus Zerg. It's a lot about mid-game pushes, getting damage done. If the Zerg economy grows too large, it's very difficult for Protoss to scale against, you know, things like lots of Banelings, for example. When you get spread out in big arcs, very hard to land storms that can kill all of those. So, Resonating Glaives it is, and there's a Prism, so not going to be anything that you would normally expect. And he actually does get a Stalker because he wants to push the Overlord out. Knowing that he doesn't have a Phoenix, he just says, hey, I just need to try and keep you from scouting as much as possible. And he might try to use this staging ground to push through this third base and get a lot of Resonating Glaive Adepts. It's very much so meant to do a lot of damage. You don't do builds like this hoping to get like 2 or 3 drones. You're looking to get a lot. You're looking to get a lot, and you're really looking to stress the Zerg out and buy yourself a lot of time with these setups. So you need to be careful. He sees the Prism. He sees the Adepts. He already saw the Twilight Council earlier. So if you are Denver, you just want to be cranking out roaches. Roaches and drones if you can. The Spore Crawlers are still important because the Warp Prism could end up flying over your base. But here we go. Resonating Glaives is finishing up, and he is going to get a Dark Shrine as a follow-up as well, which is always fun, I should say. I'm not going to say it's always a good play. I would say it's always a good play, or maybe In Control would, but I don't think statistics show that the Dark Shrine always gives you an advantage. So that Overlord comes by, says, what up, my dude? Isn't going to find nothing too interesting. The Dark Shrine is being built behind the Natural, so he does not know about that with his initial Overlord scout. And he wants to use these Adepts off the third and try to warp into the main, but look at this. Denver with a Ling on patrol, Overlord at that third base. He kind of knows what's going on. And the roaches, he's kind of just fighting. Wow, he just kills straight up one roach. All right, he's going for a queen. He gets one. Going for the second queen, the prism. Oh, I see. So the DT's being warped into the main. Now there is a spore, but the Dark Templar, if he doesn't put the drones around it, he can just snipe the spore crawler. The lair is not yet ready. And oh my God, I think he's going to get it. He's going to get the spore, which means he can kill these drones. He could actually go for the lair. And if he kills this lair before it finishes, I think he will. There will be no opportunity for him to get an overseer. He has to start a lair at one of his other bases right now. Moving that spore is not, I don't think it's going to be able to move in time. No, he's going to kill it. He denies the lair with only one queen because of the adept attack. The adept attack killed so many queens. He's actually still got the adepts over at the third base here. Showtime all of a sudden skyrocketing ahead. The worker count is still very close, but the amount of damage done to the tech and the infrastructure is massive, as well as, I mean, he lost a base, right? That's the main right there. And two of his extractors were there as well. So gas income is not going to be on the table for him. He can't leave his base because, well, Showtime could easily just warp in a defensive Dark Templar, right? Like, what else does a man need to do in this situation? As the creep spread goes away here too, unless he puts a tumor back in his main, he can't actually move that spore very easily. So he's just going to come back and try to snipe this base again. The DTs have found the sweet spot where they're not in range of that spore crawler's vision. Denver can't do anything to protect that base. And I'm not going to lie, he could get the spawning pool, the roach horn possibly. I think he'll be in range of the spore from the roach horn there. But look, there's no creep where this spore crawler is. It's going to bleed out. He needs to drop a tumor. If he puts a tumor on the low ground, because it's already connected here, it will push out. But that spore crawler is actually bleeding to death. That spore crawler is going to die if he doesn't get creep there or pick it up and move it. But if he picks it up, then, well, he doesn't have detection. Spore crawlers that are walking around do not detect. Fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, like an unpowered photon cannon. And if I'm Showtime, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Look, he's cranking out immortals. His opponent can only build roaches because he hasn't had a lair for forever. His lair got denied. He does finally have it now. He's getting +1 attack, but he has to actually rebuild the roach horn. He has to rebuild a roach horn. And guess what? Can he even do that? No, because he doesn't have a spawning pool. So he has to rebuild the spawning pool, and then he has to build the roach horn if he wants to make roaches or ravagers. You actually can't morph roaches into ravagers without a roach horn. So it's going to take him a long time to actually get geared up there. I'm surprised he didn't try to start like a Hydra Den or something, but I guess he just realized that the next attack is probably going to come too soon. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure Denver is super dead here. No offense, but Showtime just played a really fantastic game. I really don't mean any offense at all. I don't know. There's not too much more Denver could have done here. Showtime absolutely played a fantastic series in this push. He still can't build roaches. The roach warren's not even done. He can't build anything other than lings. But there are archons. And there you go. More stalkers going to get warped in. GG. Showtime advances on to the finals, where he will play Big Gabe.